back right there. It's pretty deep. You can get lost inside. I know friends who did it. But it is super cool. We actually have the largest collection of Pacific Islander literature in the entire world. There are a bunch of really cool books in there. We also have a computer lab, different study rooms for students to use, and you can rent out different equipment. So something I found out recently is that you can rent GoPros. So me and my friends were like, oh shoot, we can rent a GoPro for free for like 2 weeks.
About to go eat some breakfast, but I'm gonna show you guys the water. There we go. Look at that. Beautiful morning. Now it's raining in your cafe. Cute.
And then if everyone wants to head down the stairs right here, everyone watch where you're stepping. Here. We also have books inside too. So I know it's a little bit surprising. You're like, why would they have books in the bookstore? We do, they're important. So when I first started, I thought all my classes like online, so all my textbooks must be online, right, too, you know? Simple math. No, you have to go buy textbooks, like in-person physical ones sometimes for classes if your professors are old school. So I found out about halfway through the semester that I needed a textbook and my mom was not very happy with me. So definitely a good place to know. We also have like a Mac, like Apple Center on the bottom there. So hopefully if you have any problems with your computers, they can help you fix that. And then also right next door here, we have our Warrior Recreation Center. So this is our on-campus gym. Inside we have a bunch of different exercise equipment as well as a track on the upper level. It's 14 laps to a mile, so don't run around that and think you're super quick. It's a little longer. There's also a bunch of like platform weights and stuff for weightlifting if you're into that. And we used to have intramural sports, and we're working to having more intramural sports hopefully next semester, but we're starting back up with some more outdoor activities. And then also going out behind me, so obviously there's more than 4 buildings here, even though I call it the quad, but these were the original 4 buildings that we had on campus. So right next to me over here, you guys can't really see it, is Saunders Hall. Saunders Hall is home to our women's studies as well as our political science and our geography. There's a really cool like shaded area at the bottom, which is super nice to hang out or even take a Zoom class if it's raining. I will say not a ton of Zoom classes anymore, which is super nice, but it was good earlier in this year. Next to that, we have Crawford Hall, which is home to our Academy of Creative Media. So on the inside, we have like a whole television studio on the basement with like the sound or like the boom mics and the green screen or the green screens, like all the I guess like you would need for a real production level quality. So it is super cool that our students get to use this equipment. I don't know if you guys have also heard of like the TV show Hawaii 5-0 or NCIS Hawaii for anyone's any fans, but this is also where some of those productions will come on campus or work with students from our Academy of Creative Media whenever they're filming. I will say we have had them film on campus before, so it is kind of cool like getting to see that. And then next to that, behind that, you can't really see, it's George Hall, but this building is actually shaped like a G, so if you're ever lost on campus, can't figure out where you are, see a G, that's going to be George Hall, which is super nice. It's also home to our School of Travel Industry Management as well as our communications. Travel Industry Management is part of our Shidler College of Business. And then speaking of our Shidler College of Business, it's actually way up back there behind George Hall. None of you guys can see it. And I have some really bad news for anyone with a business major or business minor considering that. It's also like the farthest building from housing. So it's like a solid 20-minute walk. I will say my record is 7 minutes. I have booked it across campus, but I do not recommend. I got like shin splints and was sore for like a week afterwards. But behind that, we have our School of Architecture, better known as our Home of Architecture. Our architecture students just seem to live inside. We have really cool architecture design studios with like the light boards and all the different equipment you would need to build your little models, which is super cool. Also around noon every day, the sun shines through the windows and creates these really pretty rainbows on the floor, which I think is cool. And then over there we have Gartley Hall, which is home to our College of Social Work. And next to that we have Dean Hall, Dean Hall, which is home to our Marine Options program. So for anyone who's maybe interested in marine bio, something along those lines, but not necessarily sure about a marine bio major, that's where something like our Marine Options program might be good for you. So it's basically a certificate program where you still get to participate and participate in those biology classes, and as well as do some of that research like on Coconut Island, and you get stuff like scuba certified, but you don't necessarily have to commit to a full marine biology major. So that's something super cool for students to check out if they're interested in something like that. And then I also mentioned all of these buildings, and I'm like, okay, this is where the communications department is, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a class in those buildings. I had an earth lab in the architecture building, which is how I know about the rainbows on the floor. But if I say like this is where your building is, this is probably going to be where the professors from your major, their offices are going to be, or where they might have like a study area open for just your major, something like that. So it is good to know where these locations are, and especially with COVID too, we've definitely moved away from it, but they have been putting like classes in bigger classrooms just so social distancing and other stuff like that as well. Does anyone have any questions? It's actually a crab for the sign Cancer. I don't know. Like, I personally don't see it. And then we're going to start walking this way too, guys.
The M is a crab?
Oh, yeah. See?
Okay.
I don't know, artist rendition, which is why the building behind it is actually our art building. So I know, kind of played into that, but it is super cool about our art building. Instead of the floors being the first floor, second floor, third floor, they're actually different colors. So the bottom floor is the red floor, the middle floor is the blue floor, and the top floor is the yellow floor, which is super cool. Also down there we have our concrete canoe, which is something that our engineering students built. If you want to check that out later. Pretty big. I was like, oh, we have a concrete canoe. We really do. It really floats also, so that's something that's super cool about it. But our students are required to take an arts class, depending on what that looks like for you. For me, my arts was a communications class, but it could be something like ceramics, which is what my roommate took. I really am hoping to try and take the glass blowing class next semester. I don't need it, but it sounds fun. So. There's a ton of cool classes. Yeah, so when I was helping my roommate out with ceramics, I got to see it and I was like, oh, I have to take it before I graduate. Like, I will wait an extra year. Like, you really see it. It's actually 5 stories tall, so if you look at the back right there, it's pretty deep. You can get lost inside. I know friends who did it. But it is super cool. We actually have the largest collection of Pacific Islander literature in the entire world. There are a bunch of really cool books in there. We also have a computer lab, different study rooms for students to use, and you can rent out different equipment. So something I found out recently is that you can rent GoPros. So me and my friends were like, oh shoot, we can rent a GoPro for free for like 2 weeks. All you have to do is sign up on the website. I don't think people know about it. That's why you can actually reserve them, but I'm telling you guys now. So. But there's also printers inside. It's also AC, which is super nice. And it's open pretty late too, so it is pretty nice to do that. The only bad thing is you can't eat inside Hamilton Library, but that's why we have Paradise Palms right next door. So this is one of our on-campus eateries. Inside we have Dunkin' Donuts, Dunkin' Donuts, not Jamba Juice, a crepe place, an Indian food restaurant. We also have Panda Express, more bento places. It's really good on the inside. Also on the outside, we have lots of outdoor seating in case you want to pack a lunch or just pack a snack or anything like that, or even just sit outside. I will say the only bad thing about Paradise Palms is you do have to use real money. I think I forgot to mention this in Campus Center earlier, but at half the restaurants you can use your dining dollars and meal swipes, so like Starbucks, Jamba Juice, or Campus Center food court. And at the other half, like Subway, you do have to use real money, so it is kind of a bummer. And Paradise Palms, you do have to use real money. We do have other eateries over by housing that I'll talk about later, so keep it in mind, but yeah. So this is what a lecture, or this is what a class could look like for you. So how normally first or second year level classes work is usually you have a lecture that meets about twice a week, and then you have a smaller discussion section with either the professor or a TA or a grad student, depending on what class it is and what's your major. I will say that kind of depends. Like the largest class I've ever had was 220 students on a Zoom lecture, Psychology 100. You know, but I also met with a grad student once a week with 30 other people. So our average class size is around 30 students. I will say it really depends on your major and stuff though, because I have also had a discussion-based class the same semester with 10 people. So it really depends. It also depends on like what you choose. So I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of this, but something that a lot of college students will use is something called Rate My Professor. So it is something to help you choose your classes, to figure out like other students' ratings. They'll be like, oh, I love this class. Oh, I hated this class. Also in here, we have there are different student competitions. So a couple weekends ago, we had a robotics competition here. Our students compete in teams, and they build a robot with some of their classmates, and then at the end of it, they get to show it off, which is super cool. And this is also one of the very popular spots for one of our clubs on campus. I was talking about those earlier. We have one club called our Live Action Role Play Club, LARPing. They do come out here once or twice a year on this lawn, some swords, have a whole acted out. But it is cool. Another popular club that we have is our Nicki Minaj twerking club. I don't know. I'm not a part of it.
Twerking's in the name?
Yeah. But I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm like, that's why I don't know what to categorize. We have like, fun clubs.
Mom, would you like to tell them what's your favorite part of the tour so far?
Just the vegetation, the beauty of the campus.
Wow. Look at the water. You guys, look how clean these tennis courts are. And then there's a dome over there. Let me see if I can.
That's a really good thing to do.
Oh wait, that's Diamond Head right there, the crater. Let's see if I can get. Okay, you're all good. And some more tennis courts. There's like what, 12? There's just so many. And there's buildings over there.
Pizza slices is what I was trying to say. So they're triangle shaped. You share the room with half, or you can share the room. They're shared rooms. So you have half, your roommate has half. I'm really struggling today. But it is super cool. If you do want to see a better inside look, I would recommend watching the YouTube vlogs. Those are super helpful. Also our Housing 360s are pretty accurate, so those are really nice too. You can fit a lot of stuff. I lived on the 10th floor facing the mountains this way, so I had a really great cross breeze. I know people are going to be like, wait, we don't have AC in the freshman towers? No, the freshman towers don't have AC. However, we like to tell people you need 3 fans. This is the magic number. One by the door, one on your desk, and one by your bed. You're set. You don't really need 3 fans. I have the same fan that I got my freshman year, and I'm fine. I could wear a sweatshirt in my room. It was pretty windy because I got the good side of the building. But it was really nice. The other thing is you're not here to hang out in your dorm. We don't even have that many online classes. By the time you guys get here, we probably won't have that many online classes. So if you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, I have no AC, you're not here to hang out in your dorm. You're here to go to the beach, you're here to hang out outside. It's a lot more stuff to do than just sit up there, so don't freak out. It's not gonna be the end of the world. We all survived. If you live on campus, you probably survived. It's just fun. And then also at the top of so every other floor, if you walk around the side, they have a lanai, which is like the little balcony. You guys can kind of see it right there. So it is super nice that students can kind of hang out. You can eat lunch or dinner there. Also at the top of each tower, we have a roof deck with laundry as well as a full kitchen. I forgot to mention this for the other buildings as well, but they do or probably, I don't know which tower this one is, Olehua, but yeah, those are pretty much super cool. Also over there, you might see those tall buildings. Those are going to be Hali Wainani, as well as the shorter ones, which is Hali Noalani. These are apartment style housing for upperclassmen, so it's going to be either a 2 or 4 person share, or like 2-person room, or 4 equal to an apartment with 2 shared rooms. And then you have a kitchen, as well as a fridge, like sink, all of that, counter space, so, and couch, which is super nice. And it's also the only housing on campus where you're not required to have a meal plan. So speaking of meals, this right here is our Hali Aloha Cafe. You might also be thinking this looks really dead, like I don't know, students live here. I swear students do. It is usually a little more poppin'. People are in class right now, so that's my excuse.
At night it gets pretty crowded.
Yeah, it does get really crowded. Sometimes there is a line. So Hali Aloha Cafe is basically the same as Gateway. You can swipe in, dine in, eat as much as you want, grab and go, or also mobile order and just pick up, which is super nice. The menu is rotating. There will always be good pizza, there will always be good fries, and there will always be good grilled cheese, as well as salads and fruit, but everything else rotates. Reese has eaten there a couple times.
I have, yeah. Yeah, the food, like I mentioned to my group before, food here is really, really pretty good. Even if I didn't have my uniform on, I would still tell you that. We are ranked among the top schools or top universities for food on campus. As Ruby said, it's a rotating menu. Yeah, Thursdays is premium night. So what premium night is, you swipe in, you get a little coin, and you can get 1 premium item. So there's always steak. There's usually like another form of like a nice chicken or a pork, something like that. We always have a vegan, vegetarian option for our students who have like dietary restrictions. But yeah, I got the steak. It's pretty good, to be honest, for, you know, like campus food. You're not paying for a 5 Michelin star, you know, experience, but it's definitely a pretty good eating experience here. You can eat as much as you want. So I think I ate like 3 baked potatoes that night. They're pretty good. I don't eat that much salad, so I only had 1 salad. But yeah, pizza, as Ruby said. In a normal semester, we have self-serve ice cream as well.
No, I was about to make the announcement. Everyone, self-serve ice cream is back.
It's back?
It's back. It started last week on like Friday. The line was insane,
Okay,
but it's back. So,
One of our tour guides ate ice cream and French fries for like the first 3 days that she lived on campus. Yeah. No, there's no like nutritionist here that's gonna like get down on you for eating like 5 cups of ice cream. And, like,
don't do it, guys. The freshman 15 is real. That's why we have the gym. Like,
that is what
yeah. But also, I will say for dining on campus, if you are a vegetarian or vegan or have any dietary restrictions, they are pretty good about that. One of my roommates she's allergic to yeast, and the other one has a couple other allergies. And they're well, the one who's allergic to yeast is also a vegetarian, so that does have some dietary restrictions.